Today I want to talk briefly about a funny thing I've observed about people who deny free will. Welcome to Missing the Mark, where we look for meaning in strange places. I'm Christopher. So, when it comes to people who deny free will, and there's several variants of it, they all amount to the same thing though, where it's not purely metaphorical. I believe I've discussed that. If not, I'll discuss it in an upcoming video. But the funny thing that I've observed about a lot of them is that the people who, it is very, very common, because to some degree of historical circumstances, that the people who deny free will at present, here in the year of our Lord 2020, are also people who base their morality pretty much entirely on consent. So, for example, when it comes to sexual morality, they say that they have a very strong tendency to say that the only sexual acts that are immoral are ones that violate consent. And then for anything that doesn't work that way, they then come up with some sort of convoluted explanation for why the thing they also disapprove of somehow does not actually involve real consent, even if it involves apparent consent. And so that's often how they work around it in practice. But there's kind of a problem here. If you don't believe that people have free will, they can't consent to anything. They can't give their consent because consent is an act of the will by definition. And so, you see this incidentally very clearly in how they tend to say that bestiality is immoral because animals cannot consent to sexual intercourse because they lack the ability to understand what's going on and therefore to give informed consent. But here's the thing: if we don't have free will, we can't give consent either. We can only do whatever it is that we are foreordained to do by whatever things it is that entirely control us without our will. So if we can't actually choose one thing over another, we sure as heck can't consent to anything, because consenting to something is choosing it. And so, that just entirely does not work. In a weird sort of sense, of course, that would literally, if there's no such thing as free will, then all sex would have to be rape, because no sex could be consensual, because to consent to something is to choose to permit it, or to choose to cooperate with it, or to choose it in a direct sense, but it's all premised on choice. And so, it's really funny, look around and for various historical contingencies, because, for the most part, the people who deny free will are also sexual libertines, but can't literally say anything goes, because you kind of need to be against rape for pretty obvious reasons. And so, they say that nobody has any free will, but the basis of morality in all things, but especially in sexual things, is that you freely choose what's going on. As long as you freely choose it, then it's fine, even though you can't choose anything whatsoever freely because you don't have free will. I just love that. It's so much fun. They also broaden it to other things, in general, interactions more generally, that they tend to make consent the basis of all morality, to the degree that they will work out morality. And not that many people who believe that we have free will actually, in fact, try to make consent the basis of morality, because it's a stupid basis of morality. Morality has to be based in an actual concept of nature and telos and the good of people, and to achieve the good. That's a subject for another day. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that, and hope you enjoy it with me, that we have the great irony of people who say that we can't consent to anything because we don't have free will, basing morality upon consent. Until next time, may you hit everything you aim at. If you like this video, then clicking the like button, according to YouTube, will make them more likely to recommend it to others. If you know anyone who might get something out of this video, then it would be kind to share it with them, or just share it on social media in general. And if you'd like to see future videos of mine, you can subscribe. And if you're not in the habit of checking your subscriptions page regularly, then I suggest clicking the notification bell and setting that to always, because otherwise subscribing to a channel basically just sort of gives YouTube a hint that maybe it should consider recommending these videos to you, possibly at some point, if they think so. It's a funny world we live in. God bless.